Hello, hello, hello. All right, are we really doing this? Man, it's early here today, guys. Been outside. It's looking like it could be a bright, sunny, nice day, but it's a little overcast to start. I think that's gonna burn off though, and I gotta tell you, I no secret. I usually get up and go for a walk and kind of get outside, get moving, brew up some coffee, and then my typical deal is kind of just chill and usually watch some streams or something like that while I'm getting going in the morning. Have a little bit of coffee and get started. And I was out walking around this morning and just thinking, I just want to get going after that episode yesterday. To wrap things up, wow, 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 wow! So for the first time in really quite a while, I found myself away from the game thinking like, oh, what am I going to do now? What do I want to do with that? What about that? What about that? We ran through a whole list of, mile long list of extra stuff we need to do next in the world. And the idea, then I was like, well, what do I want to start doing about a base? What do I want to do about this? So I'm excited. I hope you guys are, and it really made me kind of think. There are, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this out of ignorance or anything, but there so often we see so many like teaser description videos that hype the merits of some random game that's about to be released because it's in a publicity cycle and people want to get there first and name it or try to catch the first in wave of excitement. And so often we just kind of dive in, think of all the content that's out there for Minecraft right now. This is my one little hardcore world, and there's other people doing that bigger, better, and crazier than I am with all kinds of mods and mini games and creative and builders and all that. Such a mass of ongoing content out there. It's boggling if you sit back and think about how much is being played at any given time, and the ability of that to compound on itself. It's incredible, but so often we just don't sit back and talk about how amazing this game is just in and of itself. Nothing else aside. How many games are there that where you've played for it doesn't have to be years, but I think a lot of people come into Minecraft and have been playing it for as long as, or in many cases, longer than they really even consciously think about having memories of gaming in particular, but really growing up because it gets introduced at such an early age, and people my age don't have that. We didn't have video games. I can specifically remember the first time I saw an Atari. I can remember the first time they wheeled a computer into an elementary school class, and we had little basic the language games to play on it. It's for us that doesn't exist, but for many folks that are growing up now, you were introduced by an older sibling or a parent or anything else to games, whether they were on a phone or a tablet or a computer at home, before, as you're learning how to talk and interact with everything else. Hang on a second. And that's really cool because one of the games that is totally accessible to young children, I think we all see that as we interact with it, is Minecraft. You can be at the very beginning of motor skills and mousing and basic computer interaction and still have a wonderful time playing with Minecraft. You scatter out a bunch of um, what you call it, blocks and things on in creative mode. I know, I know my niece certainly did this because she's a little younger than my nephew. He was the one that introduced me to the game to start. Um, and, he was kind of the older sibling, like, oh, you don't do it like this. And I think this is very, very typical. Uh, she kind of reacted as a little kid who maybe didn't have the same skill to do the building that he did. Um, so she would play in creative or peaceful mode and not worry so much about. I still don't know. We don't sit around and talk about it anymore. They're both young adults now, and my nephew isn't even that much of a young adult anymore. They grow up so fast, y'all do, chat. You're growing up so quick. But yeah, back when they were still at an age where the three of us would kind of hang out at Christmas time or something, and everybody would have a laptop and play a little Minecraft. Um, they they would both have different styles. By that point, he was already into mini games and wanting the competitive and socially pit. She just wanted peaceful mode creative, and she'd like build a little pen and then spawn in a zillion chickens or cows or whatever, and laugh at as they totally overflowed in this just kind of godlike power to bounce around and manipulate a world. For a kid, that's huge. And there are, it's kind of the Lego effect, right? There are a lot of different games that give that, yeah, um, that level of control. Um, but they don't scale a lot. They quickly it quickly grows old, right? You only it's why stories aren't set in perfect worlds, right? The power to just snap a finger and remake a world or have all the food you could ever need or anything like that doesn't make for good stories. Wow, excuse me. As I said, it's early. I just jumped into this kind of as soon as my coffee was ready. Why am I? That was getting dark. Maybe that was my yawn. Um, yeah, so building type games where you can just go in and the creative mode and all that. It's very cool, and if you can grow up beyond it and start making buildings and things that are defined. But when you're just going in and overwhelming yourself with these ideas of never having to say no, um, that has a limited shelf life. I think you pretty quickly outgrow that, and then you have to challenge yourself with, I want to make a building that looks like the real world or has this or has that, and then if you turn it into an artistic outlet, I think of like a drawing pad, right? Most basic thing in the world, a couple of regular pencils and a pad of paper, and you can spend a lifetime creating in that mode. So don't get me wrong. I'm not limiting or saying that creative mode is a limited engagement just because I play hardcore. Definitely not. I'm amazed at the ways that people can unlock their imagination just through the platform that Minecraft presents. But that wasn't really what I was going for here. What I was trying to get to is you can grow up through this game that's accessible to the mind of a very young child who does just want that power in their own world where they're so used to, for out of necessity, hearing their parents say no. No, you're not ready to cook. You don't touch the stove. No, you can't have 18 cookies before dinner. No, this, that, and the other thing. You have to go to bed. You have to take a nap. You have to put on clothes. You have to take a bath. Kids gravitate to that, and that's why dolls and toys of that nature are so popular with young children, because they get to institute a little bit of control over their world. And so Minecraft is hugely popular at that age. And then you grow up with it. Maybe you start playing a little bit of survival. Maybe you find some mini games or something like that. However, as you grow up and try other games, a lot of times Minecraft can supplement what you're finding it out in the rest of the digital world. And that's cool. But for me, what really struck me overnight last night, or whenever it was that this thought occurred, I can't claim to know exactly the moment, but here I am, and last night I felt like a kid. I was giddy with how much delight I had at finding all those, treasures. Maybe that's too strong a word, but um, they certainly make a sandy box. Certainly, and then pressure plate. Coming back from that trip and finding the multiple enchanted golden apples, and finding um the diamonds and everything else in the temples, and all the rest, just because they all came together, and there was so much there. It felt a little bit like kid on Christmas morning going, "Wow, look at all the stuff I got," or um, the obvious, and one that I've used as an analogy so often, is that coming back as a kid trick or treating on Halloween and dumping out all the candy, going through the loot. Uh, it's always fun to come back and do that, especially if you've got an audience, you're making YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's just cool to, hey, this is all the stuff we got. Look at us, little flex. Here's all my stuff. I'm so rich. In a kind of Dave Chappelle, I'm rich style, but I was just amazed. The getting multiple enchanted apples in the same temple was so unexpected. It's so unprepared for, that it caught me off guard and gave me that, wow, I didn't think that would ever really happen. It's so rare and so uncommon that it kind of catches you off guard, knocks you off your feet, sets you back a little bit. And I just found I was, wow. And how amazing is it that a game that I think maybe you can find out on your profile on Mojang or something when you first signed up, but it's been a long time that I've been playing this game. And to have a game like that give you so much delight, or unabashed, just, I thought a lot, and kind of, this is totally unrelated to anything I'm doing here on the YouTube channel, but I've got this, belief or concept that peace and joy are incompatible. You can't have both at the same time. And people are like, what are you talking about? Of course you can. Joy makes peace. They're kind of Christmas card synonyms. You put them on together, wishing, tidings of comfort and joy, kind of deal. Well, if you think about it, and really think about what is joy, what is peace, they really can't exist. And I would say that yesterday fell short of a little short of true joy, but not completely, because again, I didn't expect that getting multiple enchanted golden apples in a go. They weren't in the same chest, but just in the same temple there would ever happen. It's so uncommon to even find one that um, it really catches you off guard when it actually happens like that. And what are you gonna do at that point? Or what's happening? So the way that I look at joy, and I I kind of put it at um, the kind of rescued on a desert island scenario, right? You put yourself in Tom Hanks's shoes in Castaway, right? And this is a little different because he got self rescued, but or eventually did because he just couldn't couldn't abide not trying. But say you're on a desert island and you've been there for years, like he had, and you've got food, you got water, and all that. You're pretty well set up. You're not in a survival situation in the sense that you're just fading away and ultimately well, I mean, we're all ultimately doomed to die, but you know what I mean. Um, you're hanging out. You got food and water, and our comfortable temperature and all that. Nothing is trying to eat you on said island. You're just there. But eventually, as the years go by, the days and long hours, you don't have anybody to talk to. You got nothing going on. And ultimately, you may that may literally drive you insane. I don't know. I can't say that, but full removal from any kind of human contact would be pretty tough. But anyway, you're hanging out. You seem to have held on to your faculties, but you ultimately, after years of not seeing a ship, there, you're not on the trade routes or anything like that. No ships are going by. It's not People don't come to this island for vacations or anywhere close to it. You're just out in the middle of nowhere. Eventually, you give up for the sake of your sanity. You have to give up looking. You have to say, no one's ever coming. I need to come to grips with my life here, and what is that going to look like? What you know what makes me happier, or what do I need to do to go on until tomorrow, and that kind of stuff. Um, and I think that's a natural type of reaction. I'm not saying that's good or bad or anything else. I'm just saying, ultimately, put yourself in that situation. You've come to terms with the fact that you're not getting off the island. So you plant some flowers. You make a nice deal. Maybe fashion Robinson Crusoe style. You make some pens and come up with ink and write your journals and all that kind of stuff, and make tame some animals for pets so you have people to talk to, much like a Minecraft kind of deal. But anyway, you never expect that your circumstances in relation to that island are going to change, and then one day you wake up and there's a ship on in the little harbor and they're rowing up a little, or putting up in a little motorboat um, to check out the island. And having never expected to be rescued or see another person again, suddenly they're there. That's the feeling of joy. It's that you've given up all hope. You never expect that that what you really want can happen. It's impossible. And whether that's a son or daughter beating a cancer diagnosis, or getting a job that you had to work for all your life, or some of these Olympians that we're all watching, winning and holding a gold medal, or wearing it around their neck. Those are beyond belief, beyond reasonably sitting there and telling yourself that, yeah, I mean, you can have a goal. You can say, I want to be a gold medalist. But for most of us, there has to be a point when there are, 100 people trying out for the Olympic team, um, and I have to beat them and overcome injuries and training challenges and all the rest of it, just to make that happen. There are, I don't care how resolved you are, there are moments where it doesn't look like that's going to happen the way it is. And that's the joy, is I didn't really think that this could ever be my life, be me, be my life. Um, how am I so fortunate to have had my secret desires, the ones that I didn't even dare tell people about because they were too crazy, and now they've come true. So those kinds of things are true joy in my mind. And as you can probably guess, that's the opposite of peace. Peace is removing those stressful situations where you you aspire to the unattainable, because to have peace, think of the monk on top of the Himalayan mountain, right? He's sitting there in the cold wind and rain and sleet and snow and all that, in wearing only his little Tibetan monk robe thing, and is quite comfortable because he is resigned to the world around him just being the world and being noise, and is okay with that. So um, peace in that sense is a an acceptance and a uh, acceptance and legitimate um, pleasure with the circumstances that you find around you, without trying to make them something that they're not or can't be. And that sounds kind of weird, and it's it's not a way to achieve greatness, or to change your world. But for some people, that is absolutely. Are you kidding me? Absolutely a necessity. You just, at times, you need to find peace in your life. Well, I think you could. It's a little bit of a stretch now. You got to bear with me, but you can certainly say that I have an at peace relationship with Minecraft. I kind of know the game. I know what to expect from it, um, where worlds are likely to go. I can live or die in hardcore, and sometimes things are unexpected, make me chuckle. But rarely do I find that I'm in a situation after as long a time playing this game as I have been, where it's like that, I never could have believed that that would have happened kind of situation. That's um, just unfathomable kind of response. Well, um, those are too few and far between. But for many games, it's almost asking too much. Now what do we want to do? I didn't realize we were already full. Huh. Do we have cacti back at home? Um, I don't know if we grabbed it. Nope, hadn't. Ah, that's fine. We need spider eyes or. Okay, now. Was that where the temple was? Out that way? I'm kind of lost. Uh-oh. Was this just the way we came up, or was this the way? No, this is the far side. Did we even go in here yet? Didn't, but. Okay, so we came across town this way. There's the. Is that a jungle tree or is that a savanna tree? Are those jungle trees? Or more savanna trees? Oh no. Come on. I've been babbling about. Um. Okay, so I think seeing the sun helps. I think. Hope. Is this the way we came from? The temple's over here. We just crossed all this. I gotta backtrack. Sorry, guys. So anyway, I was just absolutely floored that here's Minecraft, and it really did blow my socks off. As you get older, you talk to old people. They're not, you think of joy, and most often you see that reflected on children's faces, right? Because they're the ones like everything is super dramatic when you're a little kid, because you haven't seen as much. There's less to compare it to. All right, so there's the tempo we are at. I just didn't want to get too lost. Um, and because we're full, we're kind of beelining back across. We still have the village and the jungle, forest, and all that kind of stuff to deal with. So still lots on our to-do list for just this episode. While I talk through these long, winding journeys. Yeah, lots of kids. Think kids on whatever your background or holidays is, but whether it's Christmas or just a birthday or some other holiday where presents and things are given. Um, Kids very often, you know, they want a new bike for their birthday, but they've learned enough to know times are tight or whatever, and they give up. Like, oh, mom and dad aren't going to give me that, or I wasn't good enough, so Santa's not going to give it to me. And it's kind of the um why adults, grandparents, or parents or anybody else will spoil their kids to the point of we may have to buckle the belt a little bit tighter, so to speak, or not. I may not be able to get that new outfit I wanted for myself, but I'm gonna make sure the kids have a really nice Christmas because you see that joy reflected on their faces. That giving up, or as I remember as a little kid, kind of resigning. I was at a time when my dad was out of a job, like, oh man, we're not gonna have too much for Christmas this year. Parents had prepared us a little bit, but there was still a toy. Ironically, a spoiler alert in one way. I won't just completely call it out, but there was um, a toy. It was oh man, what were they called? I think cliffhangers. They were these racing cars that had like a magnetized track, and the cool deal was that the cars could go. The track could be set up and kind of have a right angle and go up on a wall, or have these flat vertical surfaces, and the cars would race on those just as well because there were magnets running along with the little power feeder. So I had wanted this toy, and I'd kind of, in the times leading up to Christmas, you couldn't help yourself. You see the ads on TV, get all excited, and all that kind of stuff. But I remember, at some point, parents kind of, hey, well, dad's still looking for a job, so this, just understand this isn't going to be like every other Christmas. We're not going to have as many presents. We're going to, focus on being happy with each other and food and, all the important stuff of the holiday, not just the commercial stuff, which is a good lesson. I think every kid should have that kind of a preparation or warning as they grow up at some point that look, it's not all about the stuff. But anyway, we all like stuff too. So, needless to say, I while I hadn't specifically asked for this thing, parents can sit there and see what their kids are excited about or interested in. So they knew I really liked this toy and I wanted it, but I didn't say anything to them, and I didn't put it on my Christmas list or anything like that, but I did. I did put it in a letter to Santa, and well, hey, if this is the last hurrah for Santa, if things are tough, here, well then I'll try to be good and all that kind of stuff. And I was at a certain age where that, think Christmas Story, right? It's all becoming a bit tenuous. Well, I don't know if it was at school or whatever, something that was like, oh, you gotta, make a list for Santa or whatever. However, it worked out. I had separately put that thing in. Well, totally, totally jaded and already not too confident in that angle. Christmas morning came around, and I, went downstairs and all that um, to settle in. And sure enough, we used to do it that there were a few gifts from Santa when my sister and I went downstairs, and then we'd have breakfast, and all the family and all would gather, and then we'd do kind of presents from people kind of stuff. Well, we went down, and sure enough, the Santa part was very subdued. We had some clothes, and there was like, it was probably very similar to what my dad, as someone who grew up in the post-war years in England would have had. There was some fruit and candies and snacks and maybe a couple just small, kind of dollar store type toy things in there, but it wasn't overflowing bounty that was just piling up around us by any means. So it was, kind of set the tone, but we were having fun. We had a great breakfast and all that. And then later we started the family gifts, and I sure enough got this racetrack present thing from my parents, who I'd never asked about the gift. Well, those of you guys that can put the story together, that kind of answered some things for me. But that was a moment that I remember of absolute joy in kind of my refined sense of it, that I had absolutely given up any rational expectation that I would be getting that toy. It was out of the price range. It was extravagant. I knew the circumstances that were going on for my family and all that. I was old enough to understand all that, or at least have a grasp of it. I didn't get the whole implications or anything, fortunately. But yeah, it was, oh, there it is. How did this happen? Well, it was only on much later reflection that I kind of put a couple of other unassociated things together to figure out how that had actually happened, and that answered some questions for me for the for the rest of time. But needless to say, I was delighted. And yesterday, getting multiple golden apples gave just a hint of that. I mean, obviously, I was excited. It was fun. It's different scale, life-wise, and all that than than anything else, but it, I guess we'll drop this in here. All right, how we doing on time as I've just been babbling away here? 34, good. So next up, just keep grinding away here. Next up, let's go check the village out, if we can find it again. And then we'll, last but not least, go to the jungle and start cutting that road, maybe, and as a result, get a bunch of wood. So yeah, it shocked me on reflection that a game like Minecraft could give me that unexpected, like, oh wow, there's games and we talk about replayability and all that kind of stuff, and certainly that it's fun to find that, and I enjoy a lot of games, but it's not like Skyrim is gonna blow me away if I play it again. I kind of know what I'm getting into. I'll still get a level of pleasure out of it and enjoyment and entertainment, but it can't just be like, wow, I never thought that that would happen. Minecraft. Uh, guys, wasn't this it? Now am I seeing optical illusions? Wasn't it tucked right up against this little post? Clearly not. Again, now Minecraft's just getting spooky. I thought it was in this little bay, and looking up that there was a full-on house built out up in the hill, and I was like, oh, I'd overlooked that before. So either I was seeing shadows, I'm in the wrong bay, or Minecraft has a whole new element of phasing in and out of existence little villages for me to visit. Huh. I'm pretty sure that was where I thought I saw it. Pretend I'm boating along and... And did I see that whole thing and think it was a house or building? Maybe. I'm sure that was the area, so... Huh, well, whatever. Not the first time I've been totally off base on something. Now, was this a boat or a drowned structure or what? I think we keep going over it. Boat fairly deep. So, no village. That's okay, though. I mean, we've already got one. But, again, just ways that Minecraft can totally blow us away. I was so sure on the way back that there was a village over there. I'm going to go back and check the video and see it. I mean, I know that's what I was looking at, but how that... how those kind of things can come through just reinforces to me what I was already, like it just doesn't get stale in the sense that you lose the ability to be surprised or go, huh, that's crazy. Um, and we've certainly had ample opportunities to enjoy that kind of stuff here recently. So that's my ode to and celebration of Minecraft. Um, Now, I think we've still got loads of room for jungle wood. I just gotta go all the way out and around that point. Should we do this? I think we are probably stout enough to deal with one or two drowned during the day. Come on, man, I'm gonna drown here before you get the shovel in hand. Come on. Is that clay? No, that's like terracotta or something. What is that? Yep, terracotta. I'm guessing our maps are going to be pretty similar. Yeah. There you go. Gonna stand here. Alright, map 1. Map 2. Different. Ooh, okay. Well, let's go with the close map. Where'd our boat go? There it is. More treasures abound. So after rapsing fondly about Minecraft and how great a game it is, what do we want to do with that game here? I think we're making great progress on the stuff that we wanted to achieve here in this episode. We knew that we had a bunch of stuff left out and around the world and have kind of just been ticking items off the list here as we go today. And totally going to lose the boat, aren't I? Did I park it in the bay? Is that the boat, or are those fish? I think we're over on the other side of this. Oh, so we'll have to run the boat up the far side there. And yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to spill over into our second episode because if we do these two chests, if we even get to them, if we get this one and go back and unload, we'll check the time and see. Now, this isn't working. You need to go. I need to really line you up before I just start digging. Because seriously. Okay. Back, forward. There we go. Um, so yeah, figure our next episode will be continuing treasure hunting and uh, a little bit of exploration, some of the jungle. You know, once we get into the jungle and are just clearing jungle trees, we're not gonna have as much going on there. I guess we'll leave this chest. No sense in bringing that. Did I pick up the boat? There it is. All right, let's not forget that we want to finish out this map. Well, we've got it. Sirens. Fire truck or something? Yeah, the 2 diamonds help. We still need 3 more, or 2 random pieces of obsidian from somewhere. The 2 diamonds would get us enchanting, but we don't have enough obsidian to create the table yet. So while we're really close, we're still a bit short. Then the next one, after we get 3 more diamonds and can make a pick and get the obsidian, I'm assuming that's the way that'll play out, will be cows, because we need to go ranging for leather. Unless we were to go into the whole farming deal, which I'm not. I want to do, and I want to do big and right. As those of you guys who have watched Other Worlds of Mine know, same kind of deal in our valley here. But holding off on that until after we have our enchantment done. Okay, map all good and done. Now we got to go back and dump all this and then go figure out the next map. We might as well have it. So we would want to go far west. So I think this was the one that we picked up out of the other ship. So this may actually be quicker to dig up the treasure now. But I think hoping for 3 diamonds out of that is too much. It would be great. I'd love it if we get it, but excuse me. I just think we got a long way to go. So we should. Okay, now we're coming back to play. Yeah, this should be really close to home, actually. Right in our bay. This is the island with the torches, maybe? This is the little inlet by our house. There's our forest river. How cool is this? We live next to treasure. Maybe that's why those dolphins keep making all that noise outside our house. Or is it over? That's great. Out on the point with the cow. Not not at all near where the dolphins were making all the noise by our house. This is so cool. There's a map with our house on it, or eventually we'll have our house on it. Put that away for now. Alright. Books, TNT, Heart of the Sea, feathers. We'll want to make those into arrows. Iron can go away. Terracotta. Let's pull this sand out. I was just noticing as I was looking in there. I'd like to personally say that dripstone looks way too much like ancient debris at first glance. I got all this. How did I get ancient? Oh, it's just dripstone. Alright, those. Getting there. Guess I'll put this in here. It's kind of the closest thing we have to a heirlooms chest. We have wheat to put away. Back out to supplies, I think. We may be long or not, but we're way too close to getting done with this. Oh, and at least it's underwater. This is actually good. That means we don't have to worry about like filling in a big hole. There we go. Come on, in the hole. So no more diamonds. That's a shame. I hadn't even really noticed. That was 7 emeralds in that last little, just that spot. That is crazy. So we didn't get diamonds, but did very well. Oh, and let's finish up this map. There's that corner done. All right. Did get everything there, right? All 4 corners. So we want to find a place, because this one is cool compared to compared to some of the others. I'm not trying to disparage the others, but this one actually sits kind of near home. Um, we have just a hint of the caves. You see me walking around there, a little bit of our outline of our base. So as our house grows up, that will be a cool keepsake. So let's put it up here with the horse stuff. All right, that'll be a good little reminder. All right, now we have a bunch more stuff for here. This for there. We have that and that. Fish, those just went into the stack. Help us out. More sandy stuff. Alright, and 55 minutes. Not bad, huh? So, out of the list of stuff we did, we found out we imagined a village. Good. So we crossed that off the list. We don't have to deal with that. We got 2 shipwrecks, pulled the maps, got both those treasures, went back to the 2 temples and the broken portal, got all the chest loot and the TNTs out of those. So they're all basically done. And we found that desert village, which was kind of ho-hum, but visited it nonetheless. So pretty good all around. We knocked out a whole bunch of stuff, got a bunch more goodies. One of the best may be carrots. In fact, let's pull all of the real seed things. Sweet berries, yeah, they're kind of a seed thing too, but not to the same effect. We might as well make that into seeds here while we got just a little bit of random time. So, potatoes we need. As our kind of last big item. But those are the big 6. One thing I also kind of wonder about it is carrying an enchanted. I mean, we've been in such trouble recently that having one could be kind of a big deal. But I do think day to day, the times when they are invaluable and super necessary are raids, wither fights, maybe the dragon, but kind of unlikely. I mean, the usual dragon death is if you get dropped and your slow fall wears off. So I don't know. We'll see, but I don't. At the moment, at least, I don't think it's worth the extra spot to carry around. Our inventory's already kind of filled up. Maybe when we get a bunch of enchanted tools and don't have as much, then we just carry it all the time. But I think we're pretty well set for now. I think all these were cleaned up and complete. Oh, a little bit more gold. Always nice to have some more gold. Don't think we have any more apples, so that is cooked food. We'll need apples at some point. All right, well, this one has been an absolute pleasure as well, guys. Thanks for listening along as I just contemplated Minecraft and how amazing a game it still can be after all these years. How it can totally blow your socks off and just leave you feeling giddy like a kid. I was so happy yesterday, having been surprised with those 2 enchanted golden apples. Really cool. Anyway, it has come to that time when we save the world and put it away and pull out a thank you slide to tell you guys how much I appreciate you dropping by. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, consider hitting that like button or leaving a comment to let me know what you did enjoy. Remember, we're talking mountains potentially for our pet names, and I've got a bunch of name tags now So for our horses, our dogs, our cats, all that good stuff, if you have a mountain that's somewhere by you or something like that, if it's not offensive and I can find it through Google or an atlas or something like that, let me know. There's lots of them here in Colorado, so I can come up with lots of names on my own. But if you can think of one, it could also be a mountain from a story. You guys know I like Lord of the Rings stuff a lot, so Mount Doom, Misty Mountains, those kind of things. I would prefer to be individual peak names. So like instead of Misty Mountains or Erdluin, is that anyway, whatever the mountains are, Caldaris or whatever the mountain is that they tried to go over the pass of, and Saruman was making the blizzard and throwing snow at him and all that kind of stuff. So you guys get the idea. Try to go with names of individual peaks and names that would also make good pet names. So that's where we'll go with that. We'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good break. I know I'm going to have one, and we'll come back, try to get the jungle and some of that stuff cracking, and then eventually do a cow episode. Along the way, we'll have to delve underground unless somehow we just find more diamonds. We'll have to go get a few more of those, but I would hope that by the time we wrap up for today's play sessions, we're enchanting stuff. So that's the goal. We'll see you next time. Bye now.